Welcome back to Action Figure Obsession, and I just had what we'll call an Action Figure Obsession episode. I am your old pal Avian and Loaded, and I was thinking it might be fun to show you my three Mafex classic costume Spider-Mans. And in the middle is my favorite, because that is my preferred color scheme for a classic Spider-Man, I think. The light blue and the vivid red. Some days it's my favorite. Some days I like a darker tone on him. But that is the Mafex 185. It is a legitimate Mafex figure. And it cost me a fairly pretty penny, if I recall correctly. Somewhere around $100. And this one is the Mafex 75. I believe it was number 75. The first Amazing Spider-Man that they released, Mafex, or the first comic Amazing Spider-Man, I believe. And I'm not the world's biggest Mafex expert. I'm just going on memory here, folks, because that's what I do. This guy has the metallic blue, as you can see, which was kind of controversial at the time that the figure came out. This may be a re-release. I am led to understand that they have re-released the Mafex 75 Amazing Spider-Man twice. So the initial release and then two re-releases after that. And then this one over here, this guy, we'll put him right in front and center, because he was the one that was giving me trouble. Because I found the other two with no problem at all. This guy, the 185, he was right in the center of my main Spider-Man shelf, because he's my favorite. He's my favorite 6-inch Spider-Man. He's my favorite Mafex Spider-Man, and I just think that he's great. And then in my Marvel Mouth versus Capcom display, I found the guy on the right here, the 175, hanging out in the Marvel vs. Capcom display. But I thought he was this one. When I picked him up, and I'm noticing that the blue on this guy is lighter than the blue on this guy, but that might not mean anything in terms of what release it was, and you'll find out why in a second here. So I picked him up fully expecting that I would find two black dots on the bottom of his feet. Well, one black dot on the bottom of each foot. And there are no black dots on the bottom of his foot, which means that he is the legitimate one. So I was confused. You have to understand, when you've got 1,000 figures on display in your toy room, it's very easy to get confused. And I always say to myself, oh my God, it's dementia, it's Alzheimer's, it's mad cow disease, it's prion degradation, whatever it is. I was a little confused during this action figure obsession episode, almost an action figure episode. For those of you tracking my verbal faux pas, but I'm looking around. I got the flashlight out. I'm going through all my rather dark shelves. It's not the brightest day of the year here in the toy room. I do have the blinds open, and it's letting a little light in, but it's still a little dark here right now. But then I remembered. I thought to myself, what would I have done with the one with the two dots on the bottom of his feet? And then I remembered, and you may already have remembered, that I had him in a cloning gestation tube that I had done a little paint work on a few weeks back. I'm guessing could have been day before yesterday, but I'm pretty sure it was a couple weeks ago at least, maybe a month. The cloning gestation tube to do my Clone Saga stuff, which I was very excited about at the time, and now that all seems to have just blown away in the breeze. But anyway, this guy was hanging in there. You see how I have the that's actually one of those shitty web effect pieces that I think it's from Hasbro. If it isn't from Hasbro, it's from somebody else that made a Spider-Man figure. I don't know. It's not the white one that you usually get with a little triangle thingy on. It's got hooks on the end of it, I think, or near the end of it. I don't know. It's not great, but it's supposed to be webbing, spider webbing. What's the best See all that silver paint I put on there? Oh yeah, and then I promptly picked it up and got it all over my fingers because I am not anybody's arts and crafts guy. I can tell you that. Boy, I wish that gold on that thing looked that good in real life. It looks cheap and shitty to the naked eye, but boy, on camera it looks great. Look at that. Look at that. That looks great, and it's just gold swirly twirly plastic, but the way the light's hitting it, it looks pretty nice. And then I added like the red and the black paint on there. You look really close. You can see I didn't do the world's greatest job. You know, I'm not the world's greatest artist. I actually took art in high school and I sucked at it, which made me sad because I wanted to be good at art. But maybe I'm making art out of just making rambling videos about action figures. I don't know. So anyway, this guy was hanging out in there literally, and I said, this has got to be him, right? And then I turned the feet over, and what do we have? Black dots. See them? Black dots. Why are there black dots on the bottom of your one of your number 75 Mafex Spider-Man, Avian and Loaded? Why does he have black dots on the bottom of his feet? Well, this guy doesn't have black dots on the bottom of his feet because he's a real Mafex figure. This black guy, this Mafex Spider-Man, number 185, does not have black dots on the bottom of his feet because he is a real Mafex figure. This, seemingly beautiful, I mean, I guess it is. It looks good, right? Which is why I kept it, never threw it out. But this is a bootleg knockoff Mafex figure. I drew the black dots on the bottom of his feet so I would never get confused about which one was the fake. Even though this one has darker blue, this one has lighter blue, I think. Oops. Ah, boy. Boy, oh boy. All right, let me fix his feet here real quick. I will say one of the hallmarks of his shittiness or fakeness or knockoffiness, I don't know how well this is going to come. Yeah, there it is. See how the pegs for the toe hinge just jut right out into space? I think it does it on both. Yeah, see that? See it on both feet there? So his feet are a little unsteady compared to the real Mafex figures. But he's certainly good enough to hang out in a cloning gestation tube, or CGT. I just decided that we should call it. The other thing, there's a little schmutz on his crotch there. I don't know where that came from. All right, that's good. The other thing about this one, let's shed a little light on the subject. The other thing about this one is, and the main drawback of his being a knockoff is his right arm is relatively frozen. I'm not sure if it goes up and down. It wouldn't stay in when I got him. And I think I paid like $12 on AliExpress for this guy. The two of these together are probably worth like $160, $170. That's probably about what I paid for them. This guy, in fact, more like $180 now that I think about it, because the one on the far right definitely cost me at least $80, and I think the other one I bought new. So, yeah, this guy, he's got a bad arm, and I really don't want to break it or screw it up anymore. I forget what I did. It's not sticky tack. Does the arm go up in the air? Let me see. Does the arm? No, the arm does not go up in the air, does not go back, does not go forward. I think it's just glued in there, and you can get a little bit of articulation at the bicep swivel. But for the most part, this guy is just sort of a statue that seems to have articulation, but there's not a whole lot you can do with him compared to the other two, which are, you know, masterpieces of articulation and posing. God, straighten out your goddamn... This is one of the other things the toe hinge just insists on constantly. It can't just... The foot can't stay straight, whereas on the other two, you might notice that the pegs aren't sticking out and the feet are working just fine. So this guy, it's just a constant struggle to make him work, and he's a little janky. But anyway, one of the things that people seem to like about the Mafex Spider-Man, every time I touch one, the feet screw me over. One of the things people seem to like about the Mafex Spider-Man is that the way that they sculpt the web lines and then put the black wash in them is very reminiscent of how Toy Biz used to do it back when Toy Biz had the Marvel Legends license. And I've even heard people say that it reminds them of the so-called McFarlane Spider-Man. And I think that's a fair comparison. I mean, I had some of those Toy Biz figures, and I remember what the webbing looked like and felt like and smelled like. And, oh, it was just so lovely. Oh, I'm telling you. Just the endless caressing. Yeah. No, yeah, the Mafex, and you get that on both of them. You know, the web lines are sculpted, and they're, you know, then sort of, I don't know if the 185 might actually be kind of panel lined in rather than a wash, but definitely this one and every real one that I've ever seen, and even this fake ass one, I think they all have some kind of black wash or dark gray wash on them to bring out the highlights in the webbing and make them look pretty good. Make them look pretty good. The number 185, as I say, the closest thing that I have in my Marvel Legends collection to this guy in terms of both the height and the colors is the 2017 retro Pizza Spider-Man, the re-release of the Pizza Spider-Man that they did in 2017 in the Marvel Superheroes Vintage Collection wave. This is the tightest of the three. And not tight in a bad way. He just feels fairly sturdy and fairly. You can pose him and not really worry that it's going to all fall apart on you, like with this fake knockoff guy over here. I don't think this one is going to fall apart either, but it does feel. Actually, it feels pretty sturdy too. I thought he felt a little loose, but no, maybe I'm just misremembering all the bad experiences that I've had with this poor knockoff Spider-Man, who just fell over again, and now his feet are all fucked up. With the feet. God damn. And he just, let's get that arm back down. Your frozen arm. So he's got a frozen arm and a sad face, and he's just sad. He's gonna go hug his gestation tube and feel sad, because he doesn't want to stand up. I mentioned that I have the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. At one point, I took off the bottom of his legs because you can detach them at the knees. Because he was too tall to sit in the driver's seat of the Mystery Machine. But if you take off his shins and feet, boy, he fits in that Mystery Machine just great. I got to dig that thing out. I know probably a couple of you would like to see the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine that I have. It's up on a high shelf, and it's behind a whole bunch of stuff that I'm afraid is going to fall over. I will dig it out one of these days, but that day is definitely not today. So anyway, this has been my little explanation of my little panic attack that I had when I couldn't find this fake one that's obviously not very good anyway. Let's see, can you just lean on that one for a second? No, you're gonna, oh, yep. You are a fucking loser. Yeah, look at you. You piece of... Can I straighten him out just enough to stand up for a parting shot? Can I do that? Can I do that? So beautiful. So, my lovely. And then this. Oh, God, his feet are all cattywampus. Come on, man. You're Spider-Man. You can do whatever a spider can. So, spiders can stand up. I've seen it myself. Can you stand up, you fake ass? No, you can't do it, can you? All right. I'm doing everything I can with these feet here, folks. Something's off balance. I don't know what it is. What? Will that do it? No. It's these damn fake toes with the bad pins sticking out. That's what it is. There we go. See, if you fiddle with them long enough, you can almost make them look like a real toy instead of a counterfeit dud. All right, I know where you're going, and it's right back into that tube, my friend. Right back into that tube. Yep, that's where he's going. Sometimes when you have an action figure obsession, you forget about why you dislike something or why it's really not all that useful to you, my friends. And then you dig it out and you make a video about it, and suddenly you're like, oh yeah, that's why I stuck him in that tube in the first place, and he's going back in the tube. So yeah, let me show you my Mafex Spider-Man collection. It's just these two guys right here. That's all it is. The number 185 and the number 75, and they're both awesome, and they're both beautiful. And you know, if you get really lucky buying a knockoff on AliExpress or Temu or whatever, you might get a good one. When I first got this one, he seemed like a good one, but then his arm fell out, and I was never really able to get it to work right again. Because that happens, you know, when your arm falls out, it's hard to get it to work right again. Yeah. Can I just for a second? There we go. For one brief shining moment, the AliExpress knockoff Mafex Spider-Man stood quietly in the background and said to himself, much like Elton John once did, I'm still standing. Yep. So that's a quick look at my Mafex Spider-Man. I don't know if you're familiar with Mafex, if you've ever had a Mafex, if you've heard the wonders of Mafex and how Mafex is the shit. Mafex is the shit, especially with the Spider-Mans. I have at one point also had the black costume Spider-Man and the Scarlet Spider-Man, and boy, do I regret getting rid of those, because they are beautiful figures, but that was the last purge, and I was really hungry for cash at that point, and I let them go, but I made people pay for them. That's what I did. But I kept the one on the right, and later on got the one on the left, and I'm very happy with both of them. In fact, they are the only Mafex figures in my entire collection, and anyone who says otherwise is a liar. Yes, a liar. Well, that'll do it for this rather weird journey into digression, looking at my Mafex Spider-Men, both of them, just the two of them. Yeah, the other guy's going back in the bin with his dots on his feet. Before you go to bed tonight, check your feet. You know, look on the bottom of your feet. If there are two black dots, one on the bottom of each foot, you may be a knockoff. You may be a counterfeit. You may be a clone. You may be a fake. It's possible. You never know. I mean, if I'm running your life and I think you're a fake, what are you going to get? You're going to get a black dot on the bottom of each foot, because that's just how I roll. Thanks for watching this edition of Action Figure Obsession here on the Avian and Loaded channel. Appreciate you spending about 17 and a half minutes of your time with me today. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you hate the video, listen, this one particularly, I get it. Thumbs down. That's fine. Comment if you would like any thoughts or feelings or analysis or commentary or observations. I feel like I may have repeated one of those words. But you got any Mafex? What do you got? Do you have Captain America and Daredevil that came out like a year ago, 2 years ago, sometime in the last 2 years? But I wish I had those. Those both look pretty sweet. And no, I'm not into the CT Toys bootleg thing either, so don't bring that up. Mess Toys, CT Toys, I get it, and I understand the appeal. But if there's one thing that I have learned for my collecting purposes, it's that I prefer the real thing. And that's all I can tell you. They're real, and they're spectacular. Spider-Man. Best Seinfeld joke ever. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you on the next Action Figure Obsession.